Welcome to AZPM News Daily, a wrap-up of all the day's news from Arizona Public Media. I'm Steve Jess, and on this edition of our podcast, extreme weather hits the Tucson area.
We have this extra ingredient called wind shear.
Pima County may get a new treasurer.
Brian Johnson resigned in the middle of his term.
And journalists fight the encroachment of artificial intelligence.
I just want control over the things I made.
That's ahead for Monday, July 13th. Starting us off today, over the weekend, the National Weather Service in Tucson issued severe thunderstorm warnings for destructive 80-mile-an-hour winds. We have this report from Katya Mendoza.
Meteorologist Aaron Hardin says the conditions were just right for severe weather.
We have this extra ingredient called wind shear, which is basically just the wind increasing in speed with height.
Once a thunderstorm's upward-moving air current forms, wind shear allows the storm to be sustained longer. Hardin says wind shear is more typical in the Great Plains, not usually Arizona, unless there is stronger, more widespread severe weather. So far, thunderstorms have been stronger compared to last year's monsoon, according to the National Weather Service in Tucson. I'm Katya Mendoza, AZPM News.
Pima County supervisors are slated to appoint a new county treasurer Tuesday, following the resignation of Brian Johnson. Angela Gervasi has more on that.
9 people are in the running for Pima County treasurer. The candidates include a financial consultant, a managing partner at a local accounting firm, and the current chief deputy of the treasurer's office. That's according to resumes submitted to the county in recent weeks. Under normal circumstances, the Pima County treasurer is an elected position. But former treasurer Brian Johnson resigned in the middle of his term. Under Arizona statute, the county supervisors must now appoint a replacement to serve through 2028. When Johnson's term would have ended. Johnson handed in his resignation last month. County records obtained by the Arizona Daily Star and Tucson Sentinel showed that several employees had accused Johnson of sexual misconduct. Angela Gervasi, AZPM News.
Buses and streetcars will keep rolling in Tucson after Teamsters Union members voted Sunday to approve a 3-year contract and call off their threat of a strike. The head of the Teamsters local, Carla Schumann, said transit workers got a guarantee that Suntran will improve driver safety to prevent attacks from rogue passengers.
We have hard deadlines for that. Not pie in the sky, not you'll get it someday. We have hard deadlines, and we're going to work with them to figure out which equipment works best for our folks.
Schumann says drivers will test 2 designs for improved driver enclosures. Depending on which system Suntran picks, it may take up to 2 years to get them installed on all buses. The new contract passed with 75% of the members voting yes. Schumann says safety was the main concern among the 25% who voted no. As the war in Ukraine enters another year, a new report from Doctors Without Borders warns of a silent health crisis as medical facilities face systematic destruction. L.M. Boyd spoke with a Tucson-based physician who spent 6 months running mobile clinics in the eastern part of the country.
Tucson physician Dr. James Kerwin recently returned from 6 months running mobile clinics in eastern Ukraine, where medical deserts have replaced once functioning hospitals.
And we frequently saw very high blood pressure, very poorly controlled diabetes. Because of the medical deserts that these were, there was no other options.
Dr. Kerwin says children and the elderly population are especially impacted.
I would say also that I think the people of Ukraine are tired, that it has been a long time. And while I recognize their resilience and their strength, it's easy to recognize that they've suffered a lot and that it's not a situation that can go on forever.
The report finds that over 2,500 medical facilities have been damaged or destroyed since 2022, effectively turning the act of seeking care into a lethal risk. L.M. Boyd, AZPM News.
So far this year, far fewer Arizonans have enrolled in Obamacare compared to last year. Arizona had one of the largest enrollment drop-offs in the country. Compared to February last year, over 100,000 fewer Arizonans signed up for coverage, almost a 30% drop. The decline in enrollment comes after Congress allowed Affordable Care Act subsidies to expire, leading to higher premiums. The health policy researcher KFF has found enrollees are paying about 60% more for coverage. The data accounts for people who got coverage through the Affordable Care Act marketplace and stayed on because they were able to pay their first month's premium. Part of a 2024 ballot measure to create a state-level immigration system takes effect on Tuesday. The ACLU of Arizona is suing to block it, though. Part of Proposition 314 would deputize local police to enforce new immigration laws and let state judges order deportations. The ACLU says that's a federal, not state responsibility. The lawsuit cites the Supreme Court decision that struck down most of the infamous law SB 1070, which also broadened local law enforcement authority. The ACLU is suing on behalf of the Florence Immigrant and Refugee Rights Project. Freelance contributors to the Wall Street Journal say revisions to its contract with photojournalists threaten their intellectual property. Noor Hagigi spoke with local journal contributors who worry their images could be used to train artificial intelligence.
In 2024, the Wall Street Journal's owner, News Corp, made a deal that allows OpenAI to use its news content for AI training and to answer user queries. Phoenix-based photographer Jesse Reeser says he will not be signing the journal's new contract with freelance contributors because it proposes a work-for-hire model that strips photographers of their copyright.
I fight for that copyright. I want it for resale value. I want it for book publishing. I just want control over the things I made.
Reeser is one of more than 600 freelancers nationwide who are collectively asking the journal to reconsider its new contract. Many share concerns that their work could be used to train AI for generating news photography. Noor Hagigi, AZPM News.
Tucson muralist Ignacio Garcia is auctioning a collection of street art starting today, that is Monday. The 30-piece original, called Urban Sonoran, features characters of the Sonoran Desert. All of them were painted on plywood and displayed outside the former Johnny Gibson's downtown market for over a year. Since the establishment is reopening as Gibson Food Hall and Market, Garcia is auctioning off his pieces one by one. Proceeds from the auction will support Tucson nonprofits such as the Children's Museum, Imago Dei Middle School, Tucson School for the Blind, and City High School. The auction will close on Saturday at 8 p.m. during the Urban Sonoran Collection Gala event, where visitors can take one last look at Garcia's pieces before they relocate to their new homes. And now you're caught up on the stories we've covered today at Arizona Public Media. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to AZPM News Daily wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Steve Jess. We'll be back tomorrow.